What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to another Friday episode of
The
Coffee Breakup.
Hey.
I had to look at you this time.
Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Happy Friday.
Another Friday. So before we begin, as always, please remember to, if you're watching us on YouTube, like, subscribe. Try not to move the chairs
I
too
know,
much.
I'm hearing. Okay, go.
Like, subscribe. There's a notification bell. Ring that. And
Smash that button.
Smash that like button. Comment down below. Let us know what you think. That helps. And if you can, share. If you're not watching us, you're probably listening to us on Spotify and iTunes. If you want to do either or of the other, YouTube, you can listen to us on Spotify, whatever you want.
Right, whatever you prefer.
Right. Follow us on social media. We're on
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, iTunes. Already mentioned that, yeah. YouTube.
Click the link in our bio and you can find us even if you can't.
Find everything.
Yeah, you'll find everything there.
Everything.
So thank you very much for joining us on another Friday.
Yeah.
And we have yet
another special guest.
This
week we have Lexi Marie Vasquez.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
We picked like the German guy to say. You can barely pronounce it.
Hey, I tried.
Yeah, good job. Lexi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Fabulous. Thanks for being on the show. Means
Thank
a lot.
you for having me.
You excited?
Yeah.
Have you been on a podcast before?
No.
No, first time.
Never.
No, but you're studying something related to this, right?
Broadcast journalism.
So you should,
So I interview people, but never been
shoes
interviewed.
on
The
your
tables have
foot.
turned.
Yay.
The turntables.
Awesome. So Lexi, you want to tell us about yourself or to the audience as well?
Yeah. So I go to school up in Orlando, UCF. I'm from Miami. It's gonna be my senior year. I'm 21 years old.
21. Okay.
Oh, baby.
I'm a little baby. Yeah.
When's your birthday?
January 12th, and didn't get to celebrate that much because of Corona.
In January?
No.
No,
that
I'm
wasn't
saying
that
like
present.
I haven't been to the clubs and stuff.
Like you haven't been.
You haven't
okay.
lived your best life.
Summer was supposed to be the summer, but
Canceled.
21.
Back in the days.
Yeah, I'm thinking like going clubbing. I'm like, going clubbing.
It was a lifetime ago. From Miami originally, born and raised.
What's your
here?
background?
yeah, Kendall.
What's your
Kendall's your background?
No, I'm. You said born and raised here, so
Yeah.
it's like Kendall.
Anyways, your background. Where are your parents from?
My dad's Cuban, and my mom's side is like Puerto Rican, Spaniard, European.
Okay.
So yeah.
Are you currently dating? Are you in a relationship?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Single as a
Single?
Pringle.
Hey.
Yeah.
How long has it been?
Since my junior year of high school.
So how come it has been so? It's quite a long time.
I've dated around here and there, but
But nothing concrete, nothing serious,
Yeah.
nothing that stick. Was it? What happened?
it only lasts like 2-3 weeks, and that's it.
Well, how about before that? How about you tell us about your last relationship?
Okay.
How long was the relationship?
It was a year and 3 months. He was like my first love. We were each other's
Really?
first. Yeah.
It was like a sophomore year in high school, freshman year. Right? It wasn't
Yeah.
We dated a little bit in 8th grade, and then we cut it off, and then we started again sophomore year till junior, and the beginning of junior year
Okay. So how come?
Yeah, why'd you guys split?
Yeah.
Who cheated?
No, well, he actually did once, kind of. Yeah.
But
On
you
Valentine's Day, I saw that he had nudes on his phone.
nudes on his phone.
No.
Booty pics.
He received them on Valentine's Day, or you just found
I
out
just
that they were already there?
found out. Yeah.
It wasn't your booty.
Nope. It was another girl's booty.
Oh, that sucks.
That's unfortunate.
Sorry about that.
But I was nice enough to stay. Whatever.
Why?
But he was never a bad like guy or
He was not a
anything
bad
like
guy.
that.
But he
So you
had
just
somebody else's nudes.
Yeah. No, but it wasn't a toxic relationship or anything like that. You know
So
what I mean?
it was a, I don't want to say honest mistake, but other than that, he was great. He was a great
Yeah,
guy.
he was a great guy. Other than that,
Okay.
it was just that one thing.
Okay, so you gave him another chance, and how long did that work after you gave him that second chance, I would say?
So it was February when I found out on Valentine's Day, and then we broke up in September.
Okay. So some changes. So what led to the downfall of the relationship ultimately?
He said he didn't love me anymore,
Oh, that sucks.
But
and he broke up with me at a Taco Bell by my house.
By
So
my
every time I'm in that, I pass by that Taco Bell, I'm like, ha ha.
Have you gone back to Taco Bell?
Do you eat
Yeah,
Taco Bell?
I've eaten something. Yeah, with my friends sometimes.
okay.
Yeah,
It's like a
We'll
trauma.
go there.
Time you go to Taco
I
Bell.
mean, I'm like over it. Like we've rekindled our relationship now. Like we're just cool.
So you're friends.
Yeah, exactly. And we're so young. Like doesn't even.
That's true.
it's
But then you've also been single since then. So why do you? So what's up with you? Why haven't you been able to?
What's up with you?
Yeah, what's your problem?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
What's going on? How come you've been single? What are you looking for?
Well, last
Or
year.
what haven't you been looking for?
Well, last year I was talking to a guy in the summer, and I've noticed it's been like these summer flings or whatever. And whatever, I was talking to him, and he just got a relationship. Red flag.
Red flag.
Let's write that down. Let's write that down.
And then all my friends were telling me, oh, like, I don't know, Lexi, like, he's not that good, because they know him from high school. Like, oh, he's not that good, like, bad vibes. I'm like, oh.
Wait, he was in a how long was his relationship? Do you know how long he was in a relationship for?
The relationship that he had was always on and off.
Oh,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But this was last year.
Of summer.
Right, but they were saying they know him from high school. But did you really know somebody in high school? You know, so much has changed. He's probably not the same, or he wasn't the same person anymore. But then back then he has.
They warned me about him, and I just didn't listen.
And they were right.
Yeah, they were right. So basically, I remember my mom one day was like, "Oh, you better be careful with those vampire energy suckers, like people who drain your energy."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Okay." And then the next day, I saw my dad, and he said the same thing without even knowing that I was talking to a guy. It's like, okay, like, oh, you better be careful with people who drain your energy. It's like, okay. And then he introduced me to his grandmother, and I swear to you, his grandmother said the same thing. Oh, you need to be careful with people who drain your energy. You know, there's vampire sucker. I was like, what?
It's like in a
I'm like, this is a
Twilight
sign.
Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm very like a spiritual person of like signs and the universe giving me. I just was like
energy.
they're talking about him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Spirits and stuff like that.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
must be up. It's like you just start talking to him, and then all of a sudden, everyone's telling you,
yeah.
like, hey,
In the first
look out.
week, and I'm like, no, it's maybe not him. Maybe it's someone else. Like, I didn't want to.
Ignoring the
You don't
red
wanna believe
flags.
it. You don't
wanna believe
Ignoring
it.
the red flags.
Right.
So then, he ends up going to Tally for the 4th of July because I don't know, because people go to Tally for the 4th of July, and I didn't think that his ex was going to be up there, and she ended up being up there, and then I just like totally decided to cut him off because he was acting weird right when he came back. So I remember I went to the gym and I saw him at the gym. It's like, okay, I have his hoodie in my car. I'm gonna go up and give it to him. So I went up, I gave it to him. I said, here, and I just walked out.
So you were just done with him?
Yeah. And then a month later,
Yeah, once
I
you
get
get
a
back
call.
the sweater, that's it, bro.
Game over?
And then a month later, I got a call from my friend, and he was like, oh, you know what he told me at the gym? He said that he was having sex with another girl while with you, and he was getting, like, and he had sex with his ex in Tally.
So
he was-
two girls.
Yeah.
Wow. And this was last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was the last person that you've dated,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So then why is that? Have you just like not found anyone that like has caught your attention? Have you just kind of been focusing on you? Like,
Yeah. I'm focusing more on me and, like, self-love, self-growth. I've learned a lot this year about
Good.
myself, of, like, how not to be in denial, and I've learned that it's really hard for me to express my feelings, so I would write it down now instead.
okay. They say that. Yeah, I heard. I had one of my old professors. They told me like whenever you have something that's like bothering you, sometimes it's good just to write it down because you or like instead of you telling someone, writing it down, you're already purging it from your mind because you're putting it down on paper.
Okay.
So yeah, sometimes that does work to like
That's
kind of
it.
clear your mind and stuff. But what about prior to that guy? Like, I mean, there wasn't anybody else that you were seeing? Like any other stories like that? You know, any experiences that were more red flags that you?
Yeah, the guy before him, same thing in the summer.
Jesus, that's some of that.
He just got out of a relationship too, and like I know
Are we in the
you would
summer
think.
now? We're in the summer.
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah, I think no
we're
summer
long
flings.
overdue. Long
This
overdue.
guy, you know,
Long
2
overdue.
more months.
I've learned a lot, okay, and I'm that type of person to. Well, I was. I've learned my lessons, but I was that type of person to always want to help others and like give. So with this person, he was going through financial issues, and I decided to like help him out a little bit. And then he was just toxic. Like he said, "Oh, I'm gonna go out on a boat, and I'm going out with my brother, and we're bringing girls." I'm like, "Okay." And you don't want to invite me? No, because you're hoes.
What?
I was-
At least
yeah.
She was honest.
And I was like, okay. So right after that, same timeline, 4th of July weekend. After that, I was like, I'm cutting you off. And I said, and he promised that he would pay me back.
And he didn't.
He, just a little bit, not even
how
the
much-
full amount.
What's
What's
the
he
full
missing?
amount?
Just like a good chunk of money. Just not.
Damn, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But then karma got him because I ended up seeing on social media, my friend showed me that he got like $1,200 stolen from his Cash App. And then he like lost all of his Instagram followers and everything.
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah, what goes around comes around.
So yeah, I'm like over it.
So yeah, you don't really
don't-
have the best dating record. Track record is.
But then again, I mean, you're only
21.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like now is.
But
a
I've learned a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
Like just by those two, is when I've stepped my foot down. I'm like, okay, I read like a book that helps you out, like Why Men Love Bitches, or like,
That's a
you know
title
those
of the
books.
book. Is that the book?
Yeah.
White Men Love Bitches.
Yeah, and then I'm planning on reading your book.
Hey,
So
you
here we
should.
go.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey,
Two
thank
books.
you.
2 books.
Two books.
Show the 2 books.
Okay, so right now you focus on yourself, and it's also very interesting age. You just turned 21, so it's like you're legal. You could do your own thing, and it's just so many things that are moving for you. And you're about to graduate, and so I guess maybe now are you even are you open to date or
Yeah, because you were those 2 guys came when you were in college, but obviously,
Well, and you still
recently.
Yeah, and also they were from Miami, so they weren't even
So
in
what
Orlando.
do you think that you need to date someone who's not from Miami for it to be successful, or
I mean,
away
I
from
wouldn't mind
college.
doing long distance.
have you tried it?
No,
Neither have I.
But-
you
I
don't want to do it? Don't do it.
like I personally wouldn't have mind, but obviously those guys
We're not.
were not down for that.
So then, yeah, like you said. So then, what's your game? What was your question again? Like, what's your when it comes to dating? Like, what do you?
Yeah,
want
are
to
you open to dating, or are you maybe like scared to date?
Are
Like
you closed off?
Yeah,
You don't want to even
it happens.
venture.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little closed off right now. I mean, there's guys who will like DM me and ask like, "Hey, do you want to go on a date?" And then I'll be like, "Oh yeah, sure." And then he's like, "Oh, how's picnic and wine?" And I'm like, "Whoa."
I mean,
like-
that's sweet.
It is sweet, but
Sweet,
for the first date,
yeah, first date I wouldn't do that. You don't really know.
yeah,
this
you don't do
person.
that
Oh,
on the
that's true.
yeah.
First days.
That's
So-
like
Oh,
an
so
anniversary
these are complete
almost. or-
strangers then.
Hmm?
These are complete strangers that are.
Yeah, like on Instagram.
Okay, so what's your ideal of a first date? If it's just somebody you don't really know much.
Yeah, if it's a stranger
I
that's like,
guess-
what would you want them to where would you want to go?
I guess something simple. Just take me out to eat.
Somewhere
I'm
public,
fine.
so you don't get
Food
murdered.
is good. Yeah, somewhere public. And
Well,
I
yeah.
think I would probably want to meet up with him first. If I've never met him before, no one knows who he is. But if it's like a friend of a friend, then I'll probably
Have him pick you
have
up.
him pick me up.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting because
yeah,
we've talked. I think have we talked about this, or somebody asked you about the date if they should pick you up, and you were like, and I guess it was one of the people who messaged us, whatever. So they were saying it's like, oh, like the girl was like, oh, the guy should pick you up, like the guy should pick the girl up.
If it's like a friend of a friend,
Like, there's some-
if it's
like
mutual.
un conocido, like someone that you know.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
that
if it's someone
happens.
that you've never met before, like especially in Orlando, I don't know people who know people like that.
Right, right. You want to
probably-
obviously play it safe and meet up. I agree. That should make sense. So something simple would be the ideal of your first date for you.
Yeah, like don't take me to the movies. What are we gonna do?
No.
We can't talk.
Okay, that's fair. Do you get a lot of DMs from guys?
Yes and no. It just some of the DMs are like from people that aren't even in the U.S. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that. Like they want to be your sugar daddies and stuff.
Mhm.
That's funny. Okay.
And
so-
they'll say like, "Oh, we don't have to meet. Just talk to me on the phone." I'm like, I don't got time for that. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, but will they pay you or is it for free?
Yeah. No, they'll pay me.
And you said no?
Mm.
No, but then what? They're gonna ask for your PayPal.
Yeah,
and
what
then they
if-
hack your PayPal.
No.
You ever heard of those? Or like the Nigerian prince that's in that they need to send money over, but they don't have a bank account.
Send
You
me
heard
money.
about
First,
that?
like send me money first.
I've had someone. There's someone who's DMing me saying like, "Oh, can you pay for this? Can you pay?" I'm like, "Who do you think I am?"
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody sent me like that, like a cash app, like a story on Snapchat. I was like, oh, can you send me $50? Like, I was like, what the fuck? No, random. But okay, so you wouldn't engage in that sort of thing. People paying you for that.
No.
Okay,
But if they are real people and they DM you, would you? So you'd still be open to like
dating.
like trying, right?
Yeah, of
I mean,
course.
it takes guts to shoot their shot. You know.
Yeah, it's like nowadays, I know it sounds so picky, but I kind of don't want to meet someone from social media. But then where else am I going to?
Exactly.
A friend of a
Meet
friend.
them,
I feel
yeah.
like we talked about it. It's like a friend of a friend, like an introduction. Like, hey, this is my friend. I think those are like the most genuine.
But still through
connections.
social media or in person?
In person, like if you're,
Yeah, but it's hard.
it's
to
hard,
do that,
especially
Hard
now
now, exactly.
with COVID. Like everything's literally just shut
I
down
know.
again. So you might be out of luck. You might have to hold on to that.
Now I'm just like, whatever comes, whatever happens.
Okay.
Have you ever had like a dating app?
No.
Never ever.
No, but my friend has, and she's actually with someone. It was Tinder, and they've been together since.
Yeah, that's like the worst one.
That is the
too.
worst app you can meet somebody on.
I actually have two
Okay.
friends from Tinder that
Yeah.
met someone.
So knowing that they have found somebody, do you think maybe you would consider getting Tinder?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I feel like they're not.
Last resort.
Yeah, that would be like.
I mean, it's not like
Maybe in-
eHarmony. that-
Maybe in 2 years. Maybe in 2 years
Like-
from now, if I'm still single, I might.
You have time. 21.
Am I?
Yeah, you have time. 21.
Because I know Bumble, like you know, in Bumble you have control, right?
Oh,
Like when
no.
you match with someone, the girl's the one that has to write to the guy.
Oh,
Are you
I
in a-
didn't know that. I mean, you obviously have used these dating apps.
I haven't
I'm
used.
assuming,
I've used Tinder, but I mean that was just to like mess around back in the day. But like I never, Never did anything. I remember one of my boys, he had Tinder, and he was uglier than me. So I was mad because he was matching with all these pretty girls, and I'm like, bro, I get these like rhinos like matching on me. I was like, what the hell, dude? Like I was mad.
Damn, that's fucked up.
But yeah, maybe you should try Bumble. Supposedly, I mean, Bumble. That's where you get control. Like you match with a guy, and then you have to write to them, which is better. So you don't get like those creepy messages, those openers, or the boring, hey, that there's nothing to respond to. So
That's
think about that.
So how do you feel about, like, do you shoot your shot? Are you assertive when it comes to dating, or do you feel like the guy should do the initiative?
Yeah. Do you ever DM anybody? Do you DM dudes?
I've never DM'd a guy.
Never.
I don't think. Yeah.
You feel like
I
it's
think
beneath you.
I think I'm just so like over
Dating.
men right now. I'm just like, oh, I know.
What about like in person? Like, you would go out and stuff like that. Would you ever like go up to a guy, or would you do the bat your eyelashes or smile?
Well, there was one time in Orlando. This is why Miami men are just, I guess, better. Miami guys have the sauce, and they have more confidence. So I was up in Orlando, and I was at a bar at a club with my friends, and a guy comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, you're beautiful." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And he goes, "You think I'm ugly?" I was like, "What?" And I'm like, "That just made you look ugly."
Really?
Yeah, I was like, let me be a bitch right now. I'm like, that just made you look ugly.
Huh?
This was an Orlando guy?
Yeah.
But how do you know it was an Orlando guy?
Yeah.
I could just tell.
No. Get the fuck.
She's been there for like 3 years, bro.
But like, if you're from Miami, you wouldn't have
weed 'em
approached. You wouldn't have even said that.
So then what Miami approach has worked?
I feel like it'd be like, oh, you look beautiful. Do you want to dance with me? Like, come on, I'll get a
you would do
drink.
that?
Like,
like
sometimes no. Sometimes I decline them.
Exactly.
So
So
but it depends.
there's no winning here.
yeah.
It depends. Like,
It depends on the vibe.
So what would you want
Yeah,
a
on the
guy?
vibe.
What would you want a guy to tell you? Like what?
At a club?
Apart from the vibe, what would you want a guy to like? If he approaches you, what needs to happen, and what do you need to see from that guy in order for you to be more inclined to?
that he's not belligerent drunk.
Okay,
like
so
he's not
Sober.
pretty.
One.
Any other requirements?
Taller than
Well,
you.
not so-
The physical is important to you, or maybe they have some sort of confidence in them and it doesn't matter. How
Some-
tall are you?
I'm 5'2". I'm short.
Okay.
So what if you get someone who's 5'4" king goes up to you and he goes, "Hey, what's up, baby?"
I don't think so.
So because he's too short, so he's got to be tall.
A little bit taller. Yeah.
Taller than you.
5'4" is short.
Yeah. 5'4" is.
It's an example. All right. So then, do you think is for you to give a chance to a guy? So you have to be at least physically attracted, beyond whatever it is that.
Yeah.
it
So I
says.
have like, I have met guys who weren't physically attracted, but I ended up liking them because of their personality.
Right. Mind.
But if we're talking about at the club, it's
Yeah.
always appearance. I feel like
It starts off
first.
with appearance,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that's what I was asking because I mean, you don't really know someone's personality based on their looks. You kind of have to give them a chance to
Exactly.
talk. But if you're not attracted to them, you'll never be able to talk to them.
Right. But that guy at the bar literally just said, "Oh, so you think I'm ugly? So I don't like your personality."
Was he ugly?
He was alright.
Decent.
But like
So what's your type?
Yeah.
my type,
If you don't mind.
personality and everything. Okay, so
let's start with the physical, and then we'll figure out, what you're looking for.
nice smile, eyes, taller than me, of course.
This shouldn't be difficult.
I like guys who are active, adventurous, artistic. Someone who I can have an intellectual conversation with and who will help me grow as I help them grow. I like guys who actually want to grow, who actually want to change, who don't hide from their fear of changing. That makes sense.
So, obviously we kind of know what you like, your type. Age isn't really as much of a big deal to you as maybe some other girls. But obviously looking at your track record, it doesn't really look too promising. So do you feel like maybe it's not them, maybe it's you? You obviously dated and it ended poorly. Do you maybe feel like maybe they're not the problem?
Well, yeah,
maybe you?
there's a saying that someone, I think I saw it on Shark Tank, but it doesn't really have to do with this, but the shoe will fit.
Sure.
It's like there's always an idiot in a room, and if you can't find them, it's usually you. So in this case, I mean, I don't want to say idiot, but in this case, it's like you think that, okay, something's not working out, like something's wrong with these guys. But if everyone has a problem, do you think that maybe you're the one that has a problem?
Okay. So
She's gonna go.
She's gonna snap.
I don't, in the past, I would say, I don't think it was me being the problem. I think I was fragile and like I let them kind of step on me, walk over me. And then I've learned from that. But I do have a quote that I actually wanted to share.
Oh, interesting.
Bring it on.
So this is what someone told me and I decided to write it down. be mindful when it comes to relationships, because you'll start making assumptions when it comes to people's actions. And people's actions may have many reasons behind them than what you think is the reason. So, for example...
Yeah, I may interpret your action in one thing, but you may be doing it for other reasons.
For example, with the guys I've dated in the past, I may be like, oh my God, it's probably because I'm this, and this. But in reality, it's probably what were going through before me, and they can't move forward from that stage in their life. You know what I mean?
And also, you met them, they just got out of the relationship.
Exactly.
They were still dealing with trauma, and you kind of got caught in the crossfire with them still dealing with that
and
past
then,
pain. You know?
Yeah, and then I'm here blaming it on myself, but in reality, it's them that needs to work on that. I mean, I've learned my lesson from dealing with them.
Well, you did it twice.
Yeah, twice.
So this is it. You're like, no more dating, guys. We just got out of a relationship. Stop.
No, yeah, I've learned after that. That's it.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I've met some women too that they got out of a relationship. They were like, "Oh, I've been single for 2 weeks," and I'm like, "Yo, take your time, heal, because it's not gonna like we're not gonna like what we find at the other end of the story." And so I 100% agree. And I made that mistake too, where I met somebody that was single for like a month out of a 3-year relationship. And, you know, they just weren't ready. And those are the people that, if it's meant to be, then you can give them some time and you can always find each other down the line. But
I mean, you also can't, you never know when you're going to meet someone. So maybe you can meet them and they might be the right person at that time and it may work out.
Right.
But usually people, they'll be jumping because they're just so used to being with someone that they'll transition. And it's like those who break up and then jump into another relationship, they're still in relationship mode. So they're still acting the same way, but that also brings in the trauma and all the problems that you had with your ex. You're still going to transfer that over because you're still in that mode because you haven't been able to heal yourself.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I felt like they were doing to me too.
Yeah, I think they were still trying to heal themselves, and you were kind of there to kind of numb the pain.
Yeah.
And
fill the void.
Yeah, fill the void and the loneliness and the pain. And unfortunately, you kind of, dealt with that, the fallout of that,
I feel like people need a whole year in order to heal.
You think that's the time frame? You think a year is enough? Because I've been single for, how long have I been single for?
3 years.
3?
2?
Luch, how long have I been single for?
I want to say 3. Because
and I'm still not ready.
But have you been dating?
I wouldn't even call it like.
So it's like, is it kind of like what I'm doing in a way? Like, I've been single for 4+
ever.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, you've been always saying.
No, I mean,
but like I'll date here and there, and it just ends up not working.
Yeah,
out.
you know what? Yeah, I'll try, but then for some reason, I'm not comfortable enough. I think it's that I'm not ready to be vulnerable enough to someone. So whether they're good or bad, I'll just start dating. But then a lot of it also is time. A lot of the time that I'm doing is I'm investing into myself. So then I think with everything that I have going on and that's on my plate, can I really give time to somebody else? Because a relationship, you have to invest in your partner also. So I don't think I have that time to share.
Yeah, I think we all have seasons in life, and sometimes there are seasons where you grow and where you have to be alone, which is I think where you are in right now, and I feel the same way. And maybe even you, where you feel like, hey, this is about me. Because once you have a partner, it's not just you, it's us. Right. And yeah, you can still be selfish. You can still put your time and energy into yourself. But at the same time, it's not the same. You're still going to have to devote and put some time into somebody else and feed somebody else with your energy. And not everybody's ready for that, And I think that's okay as long as you're being truthful to that. Right. I think it's kind of that's where you are, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would say that being vulnerable is actually one of, like, my types, too. I like it when people can be vulnerable to me.
Oh, I'm not your type.
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, I can't. But that is important. I mean, obviously, but that's also going to come with someone who's ready for it. And that's what you're going to be looking for because, I mean, given your resume, I would say, the last 2 guys, if they're fresh out of relationships, they're not willing to be vulnerable. So they're kind of just still with that kind of mindset of... Or
they're vulnerable by talking shit about their ex. And then that's another red flag that I should have just...
Right. As soon as you hear somebody bashing their ex, let me walk away.
I mean, they only lasted 2 weeks, so it wasn't even... 2, 3,
remarkable. I mean, you should be proud of who you are, and you can look back and you're like, hey, man, I should have
Dude, you're only
better.
21.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
When I was 21, I was doing a bunch of dumb shit.
I was a mess.
Yeah, so I think you're on the right track. You're doing good.
Yeah, at least it sounds like you have a good head on your shoulders, and at least you have. I don't want to say you have a clear vision of what you want, but at least you know what you don't want. Right. And that I think that kind of clarifies the vision a little bit more because maybe things will go along the way that you'll make mistakes towards because you've never experienced it. Right. And I feel like you're learning and you know what not to redo. I mean, you already made the same mistake twice. Let's not do it the third time.
No.
Right?
Not again.
All right, so I think we got a lot of insights. So usually along the last segment, we go into some sort of questions for both of us. So we like to have fun, but we also like to, talk about topics that maybe we've talked about in the past.
Right, absolutely.
To get different opinions. Marvin, please.
Okay, so how do you feel about, or what would you do if you were in a relationship and you find out your significant other has gotten your name tatted on them, either your name or maybe even bold and your face on their back, or it's like their chest? How would you feel about that?
If that's on their body, not on my body, so
what would you think? Like, would you be like, oh, damn, flattering,
or would that be like a oh shit?
If we're married, maybe like a tattoo of my name, but I don't think on my face. That would be
kind of
very
weird.
Like a portrait.
No,
and
that's
it's like
creepy.
Yeah,
almost.
Okay.
And then if you break up, a girl's gonna see.
Yeah,
my face.
That's not on you. That's not your problem.
Yeah, I know.
So
that's on them.
Yeah, exactly. Flip the switch. Would you ever consider getting anything, maybe?
And even like initials or like a name.
Only my kids.
Your kids. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Okay, interesting. No, the reason I was asking is because of like within like 2 days, I saw like 2 guys post pictures of like one like a big ass like literally portrait on their back of their partner. Like huge, literally the entire back, and then the other one was like their name, like the
name here.
No, the girl's name, like in Japanese or some shit like that.
Gosh.
Stupid.
I know a guy that I think has gotten like the V for the girl, and then he just got a new one for his new girlfriend. I think he has another one from his other ex.
Like the whole alphabet.
Yeah, and I'm like, you haven't learned your lesson?
Yeah,
that's one of the guys I've talked to. So.
Oh,
really?
It's so the one from the summer.
You're here talking shit, but you were there. Is your initial on him too?
No.
So
that was the one from the summer, the 3-week one.
So how did you feel about seeing this? Like, yo, this guy has a tattoo of somebody else.
Yeah, another chick.
It was just like, I didn't even know that the V was from his ex. But then he told me like, oh, this is her like first name, last name.
He told you like that?
Yeah. I was like, why did you do that? Oh, because I thought we were going to be together forever.
Stupid fuck.
And then he does it again.
Shit, that's
funny.
Okay, interesting. Awesome.
All right, go.
Thank you.
You could drop a question for us.
This is for both of you.
Sure, go ahead.
Did you go through a fuckboy stage? And if so, did you see yourself as a fuckboy? And during the stage, did you fuck around the same girls in the same group or in different groups?
I definitely had that stage. Same group, no. No, I slept with one girl that has been with like a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not really cool with that person anymore, and it was weird. It was weird, and I don't know. Yeah, shouldn't even have happened, but it did. But yeah, I definitely went through that stage, and was I aware? Yeah, I was aware. I was aware of it. No, I'm not gonna be honest.
How recent was this? Was it recent or was it a long time ago?
Oh yeah, it was a long time ago. It was after like my first breakup. Like I was in a relationship, and the first everything, and I was like a late bloomer. We broke up, and then I was like, I guess had to get some stuff out of my system, and then like I went like berserk. But
for how long?
The stage?
Mm-hmm.
At that point
Years?
it was like no. At that point it was like a little less than a year, and then I got into another relationship, and that kind of calmed me down a little bit.
Yeah, when I was in when I was in college, I was a fuckboy for probably.
Because you were in a frat.
I wasn't a frat, and that's when I really kind of grew out of my shell. I used to be really shy, actually. A lot of people they don't believe that because I'm very outspoken, I'm very direct with people, but I used to be very, very shy. And when I was in college, I mean, you would meet so many people all the time, and every day was like another environment that you just met more people. So yeah, I was a huge fuckboy, and yeah, dude, whatever came my way, I did it. Whether it was a friend of a friend or best friends. Yeah, until like a couple of years back, like I would say like 3 years ago, like prior to my ex, like I was there, like it was the same friend, whatever, like, like you guys should know not to.
Would you ever fuck your ex's best friend? Like
my ex's best friend?
No.
I wouldn't.
Like, have you ever?
I mean, not my ex, but I have fucked.
Like a girl that you're talking to, her friend.
I have, but
shit.
That was back then, I'm a different guy.
That was back then, like 6 months
ago. About 12 months. No, I'm kidding.
It's funny. No. What is one thing in a relationship that you consider unforgivable? Like, there's no coming back,
Cheating.
That's lies.
Lying and cheating, yeah.
No. I mean, like, you got.
Oh, that was a past.
The guy cheated, though.
That was a past, yeah.
Okay, but you learned. So now at this point, that's cheating is unforgivable.
Yeah. Well, I think I remember hearing you guys talk about this on your podcast, or not quite sure, but
That's great. I love it when I hear that.
you know how some people will say like, okay, I'm out at the club and I bump into my ex, but like nothing happens. Will you tell your girl? Not really, because why would you stir the pot? Maybe it wasn't you, but I've heard I've had that conversation with my friends before. Would you tell your girlfriend like, oh, by the way, I saw my ex at the club, but nothing happened? Or
I probably would say.
If the ex did say, "Oh my God," like, and started talking to you, that's when I'll probably tell.
Yeah, because think about it.
You don't want the girl to start.
No.
Thinking,
the problem is gonna come when
she finds out and you never told her.
And
then it's like, why didn't you tell me?
Oh, she was there and you didn't tell me that she was there.
Exactly. And then you could say, well, I didn't even talk to her. But even in her mind,
you knew that she was there.
Yeah,
you didn't tell me.
I feel like there is no winning because you're gonna say it now. It's on her mind. You're not gonna say she finds out. It's gonna be on her mind. It's hard. It's tricky. I would probably just full disclosure.
And even if you're like, oh, I didn't even know she was there. How did you? Know
I think that leads to like good communication.
Yeah.
Too.
And like also obviously trust. And it's like, okay, like, he came forward and told me.
Exactly.
And then it's like, okay.
Someone understanding and mature enough to actually be able to handle the conversation as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it depends on like the girl too, who's receiving what you're saying.
Right. Obviously. Right. And then it's like, how long was this relationship? What ex was this? Like, if this was like an ex from like fucking 4 years ago or whatever. But if it's like,
your most recent ex.
Yeah, if it's like a recent ex, would you...
I would disclose. I would just say it. Yeah.
But if it's an ex from like a long time ago, there's no point.
I hope I never see them again. So I hope that never happens.
Anyways, it goes back to you, right? Yeah, it's your turn.
How do you feel about one person loving the other person more? Do you think that's always the case? How would they deal with that type of vulnerability and power being held over them?
Oh, that's a good one. I think that's a tough one. I think there's a saying that most relationships work that way, where one party just loves. It might just be a little bit more, but it usually is one way or the other, where one person loves more than the other person. You know what? I feel like I've been in relationships where maybe I loved a little bit more, and it could be if it's at the beginning, where maybe I was the first person who said, "Hey, I love you," and I generally meant it, but the other person wasn't ready to reciprocate that and say it back. So at that point in time, at that stage of the relationship, I was loving this person more. And then obviously as time goes on, and at some point when they're ready, just say, hey, I love you too. But if my love for that person grows and grows and grows and grows, I'm a little bit ahead of the game than compared to where she is at. And so, yeah, I think that's something that just have to be aware of.
Do you think the guy should love the girl more than the girl loving the guy more?
I've heard of that.
I've heard that some girls are like, no, the guy has to love you more than you love him.
In order for the relationship to work, right?
Yeah, because they need to like chase after you.
I don't think so. I don't think you have. Damn it. I don't know. I don't think it has to be the guy. I think as long as both people are giving it their 100%, that's all that matters. My 100% might be a little bit more than your 100%. Right. And so, but as long as you're trying and you want to go into this and together and say, hey, we're a partnership and we're going to do this together, I think that at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Unless, Chris, you might want to.
So in the 5 love languages in the book, there's one in one of the chapters. It talks about as long as one person is still in love with the other one and still willing to give that love, the relationship can still work. It's when both of them stop loving each other is when it's not repairable anymore. So as long as someone still loves the other partner and is still willing to put in the time and the effort to reciprocate or try to make something happen, the other person still has the opportunity to return that.
Yeah,
it's in the book.
I know, I understand, but I don't 100% agree with that. I think it takes because you can be like, let's say me, and I say I still love this person. I want to give it my all, but the other person already checked out. It doesn't matter how much I love this person,
right? How
much I'm going to go into. But if this person doesn't feel the same way and isn't all about me, it doesn't matter how much I love this person,
dude. But then you don't remember in one of the chapters where it says that the guy he was already emotionally invested in somebody else, and what happened was that he wanted to leave his wife. Mm-hmm. So then when he was trying to get with this person, you remember that 2-year, that obsession phase, it wore out. And then the girl that he was trying to get after no longer wanted anything to do with him. So now he didn't have his wife. And then that girl left where he thought it was great. And that's when the guy's like, well, you need to figure out what her love language is. And she needs to figure out what yours is in order to really give this a shot. So then once he was more open-minded to it, they rekindled. And then they were able to reestablish their...
No, I understand. I think it could work. Like in that situation, it can. But I feel like ultimately, when two people come together, I think both have to kind of put in the effort and put in the work.
Of course. But I just think that in order for it to still be salvageable, at least one person needs to continue giving in that effort.
The reason I feel like I object to that is because I look back at my past relationship, last one, and I wanted to make this work so hard, so much, and this other person kind of feel like, I mean, obviously you know her, you know the situation, and it was just on her end, it wasn't there for her. She didn't want this anymore.
But
so I feel like, but I wanted it. Why I wanted it, and she kind of already checked out. So I just kind of, I guess I have my reservation in terms of that situation. But to go back on your, I think it's a great question. And obviously, thank you for asking it. But yeah, I feel like one person is gonna love the other more. Does it have to be the guy? I don't think it has to be the guy. I think as long as you're both giving it your all, you know, my love for you might look different than your love for me.
Right.
Right. You know, so as long as we both go, I know you giving it your all and you're all in it, and so am I. I think it could work.
How should paying happen on a date? So if you go out with a guy, right? Let's just say you're on a date with a guy. Who's supposed to pay the bill and why?
If he asked me on the date, I think that he should pay.
Yep.
But if I asked him, hey, let's go on a date, then I would maybe try to pay, but expect him to pay.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. I believe that.
If it's, what do you mean, like the first date or in general? Like, or like the first couple of days?
I mean,
like if it was like the first date, like I would try pay, or I feel like if the first day he paid, the second day I'll try to pay, or you know what I mean? Cool. But usually that happens when you're in a relationship. They'll have the guy pay one time, the girl pay the other. So
yeah, I like that.
I feel like there has to be a 50-50 balance.
Okay, so you do believe in share, giving in your share, putting in your
of
share.
course. Or maybe if he took me out and he paid for me, I'll bring him something as a gift. Like a bottle of wine that he likes or whatever.
Hey, so if you asked I'm sorry, I can't get over that. So if you initiate the date, he's like, hey, you want to go out tonight? And he's like, yeah, sure, let's go. You still expect him to pay, even though you asked him to go out.
If he doesn't want to pay, then
I mean,
damn, that's my bad. I'll pay. You know.
But you expect, but you were like.
But hopefully, yeah.
But I can see that because I'm like if I were to see the girl offer, I would still want to pay.
Right. I think a girl should always have money on her, regardless, just in case if something were to happen. You know what I mean? If the guy just.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Because there's been times where I've been asked out on a date, and they're like, oh, let's go here, or whatever, and it's like they still expected me to pay, and I'm like, bro, if you want to go out on a date with me,
right,
you better fucking pay. You want me to pay?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, or it's like they ask you out on a date. And it's like, and I'm like, sure, yeah, what do you have in mind? They're like, oh, no, like, what do you want to do? It's like, if you ask me out on a date, you better have a plan. Same, if you flip the switch, if I ask you out, I'm going to have a plan.
Right.
And I agree with you 100%. If I ask you out, obviously I would pay. But it's interesting that you.
There's guys who've asked me out, and then I'm, like, going to, like, oh, let's split it or whatever. And then they shut me down. They're like, no. Like, there's some guys that literally hate it. Like, they're like, I don't want to see it ever again. Like, don't do that.
I mean, I'm not going to be that dramatic. I mean, I would, if I ask you out, I'm going to pay. And if you offer, I'll refuse.
Right.
But I'm not going to be like, yo, I never want to see that card again. I don't know about that.
Make sure you bring it next time.
Yeah. Okay, that's funny. Okay.
But yeah, like if he paid for that date, then I'll probably, the next time I see him, if things are going great, it all depends on like
the vibe
and everything.
Of course.
And making sure I didn't get those red flags and stuff like that. But yeah, it depends on the vibe and everything.
Cool. I have one more question.
Yeah, I think you can squeeze it
if you don't mind. Do you believe in right person, wrong time? We can wrap it up.
I think so.
You do?
I don't know, because then it depends, because
if it's the wrong time, are they the right person?
Yeah, exactly. If it's that's the argument. If it's a wrong time, are they the right person?
Right. You don't believe in it, right? Huh? Right person.
I think so.
I think so. The thing is, you can make an argument for both cases, and it'll never be ending. So I believe so. I just wanted to see what you think.
I think maybe it just depends, because if you're with someone and they're treating you like shit, and you've broken up with them, and you're always back and forth with them, and you think that they're still the right person, they're not. Like if they
well, that's not. But like maybe you meet someone and like it's going great, and then you just feel like something's off,
right?
Or maybe it's just
or they need to work on themselves, or I need to work on myself.
Or maybe you go to UCF and the guy still lives in Miami. You're like, oh, maybe right now is not the right time, but if I come back to Miami, then maybe we could revisit.
But then if a guy really liked me, I would want them to try to make the effort to come visit me in Orlando.
Because she's open to doing long distance.
Right.
Also.
Oh, okay. So you would want to keep that relationship open.
Right.
You even if it's wrong, it might be the wrong time. You'd still want to force it to see if there's something.
Well, like I've had a guy, like we were talking for a little bit, and it was kind of like long distance, but it was that open relationship, I mean, we're just talking, and he basically said like, oh, maybe when you come back down from Orlando after you graduate, like something could happen. But then I'm like, now you made me feel like shit because you couldn't just come up and visit me and like be with me then, or like, you must really not like me if you want to wait that long.
No. Not everybody's ready for that long distance. You might be able to okay with it, but not everybody is the same.
But then what if I have to travel for work? Are you going to be okay with that if I'm gone for 2 weeks or 3? You know what I mean?
Argument, actually. Man, this is good.
Right, but if you're in school, you're going to be gone for...
Yeah, but I visit Miami once a month at least, or twice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'll be open to that. So if the person is... Some guys are like that, and you have to respect it as long as they're being transparent or being honest.
Yeah, they're being
right.
honest,
It's rather they.
I'd rather them be
way
honest and not
then fuck around with you. So,
exactly.
but I like that comeback. It was smooth.
Good answer.
Do you think fighting is healthy for relationships? Because there's some people that are like, oh, we need to fight in order to be in a relationship sometimes. Like sometimes they need to like have like fights. Like some people like that.
I think debates are healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Discussions help. Yeah.
And because there's always going to be two opinions. I feel like, what is it? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. So, and it's good to be able to see different perspectives. So it's good to debate because then you get understandings on both of your partners. And, especially if you have one opinion, I have another one. I think it's important for us to have that discussion because if we never do, then what happens if something comes up that we don't agree on? Then it can become a fight if there's no debate. So I feel like there should be some level of communication and confrontation.
Yeah,
for that.
Absolutely. Especially if you're thinking long term, there's going to be times where you're going to have arguments and healthy discussions and fights, but it shouldn't be something that you long for. Like, we got to fight to make this.
Right.
Unless like you just want the makeup sex after.
Well, that's what some people say.
I had a feeling that's
right,
why.
Yeah.
But if you need the makeup sex for the relationship to be alive,
yeah, then that's a
worthy,
toxic.
then you're
that's not a good
Yeah,
relationship.
Then it's not somewhere where you want to be in.
Yeah, because then that's all you're relying on. Like, a lot of people like there was a quote that says like, "Are you like, what is it like?" You think that the sex is the best thing about your toxic ex, but that's because that's all you had to hold on to because there was nothing else there. So that's kind of the way that you can kind of see that, because if you feel like you need that makeup sex because you want to fight,
it's like
is that all that you have in the relationship?
Yeah, that's the same thing where people talk about toxic sex. Sex is like the best sex, and it's like that's all you have to that person. That's all you can think about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, okay, go ahead.
So when you get into a new relationship, do you delete your ex's content, for example, nudes?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
We had the other.
We had fucking weird, dude. Don't have your.
It's not weird. You're weird. Do you do that?
I'll keep pictures of them, but not nudes or anything like that.
Like dick pics, you'll delete, right?
Yeah, I'll delete all that.
Why?
Because it's not. Why do I need them? I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, but then again, a dick is ugly to look at, though. Boobs are nice.
Well, I mean, if it's not like if it's like abs or something, I'll still delete it. Like. You're not mine anymore. That's also
weird, though. I think it's
like, why would I still keep pictures of?
So we had another guest, and she said like, oh, like, so, I'll keep them if I want. Like, I mean, who it depends. Like, it's not like I keep all of them, but I mean, if there's one or two that I left there, it's not like, oh, let me go back and delete everything. Like, that's not how I see it.
Yeah. I mean, when I break up, especially that's part of my healing process. It's the way I consider it's like social media purge. Right. And it includes obviously pictures and everything. So that's how I handle this.
Well, I personally won't delete pictures of like if it's us together, like you know what I mean? Because
that's the first thing I'm deleting.
Should gotta go.
Well, because I don't know. Well, like for example, my first, I still have all the pictures that we took together, but that's something that I look back and I'm like, I moved on from this person. Like this is my story, like to show other people if I ever wanted to, especially my kids in the future. Like you know what I mean? Like if I wanted to have
kids with another man, why would you want to?
Like here, this is a guy that
like if I have a daughter, like like this was my first. People do that. Like this was my first. So like my mom has a book.
Did that too,
we think it's weird, but you know what? It's a norm in different cultures.
I mean, but it's like you moved on from that person. Like I have zero feelings for him. So, but then why would you keep their nudes? That's hot. Even worse.
I think it's hot.
No, that's worse.
But it's not that. I don't think it's hot, but like, I mean,
you go back and look at them.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Dude, I mean, no.
You jack off on that?
No.
So then, why would you go back?
I mean, but then again, like, I haven't deleted anything. And I've also haven't been in a relationship in a while. I think that's have to go back to delete stuff. So, like, a lot of things they just get caught in the wormhole. I just didn't even realize.
So when you get your new phone this fall and they ask, hey, can I transfer all the
I want to get a new phone every year.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, do you want to transfer all the pictures? And would you let them transfer everything?
I'll start from scratch.
Exactly. Would scratch include also deleting your ex's nudes?
But I mean, The thing is that I have to look for my ex's nudes in order. I don't even know if I have my ex's nudes.
Well, you said you did.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I mean, that's the thing, because you're like, let me actively go back and delete them. I haven't actively gone back. They've just been there.
Just
I have
been
a bunch
But
of
then if you have a girl and she sees that, she's gonna be upset.
She's gonna scroll
She's
back.
gonna
Like
have to go back like 16,000 pictures.
84 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then what's she gonna do? Why the fuck do you have nudes of another girl 84 weeks ago?
Well, why didn't
Right.
you just delete them 84 weeks ago?
I mean, that's another thing, man. Because then you have to to find those. I gotta dig for those too, man.
You got a lot of memory on that phone.
I have the 50 gigs of iCloud storage space.
Interesting. Okay, well now we know your answer. You delete them,
Yeah.
except unless they're like sentimental, just regular.
Yeah.
pictures.
Okay.
I don't know why you guys make me feel like I'm fucking weird and shit.
We do a poll on social
Yeah,
media.
bring back Natalie. I like Natalie. She was on my side. She was like, "Yo, who cares if you do?" I don't like you guys.
All right. Last question.
Go ahead.
What would you call this chapter in your life right now?
I think it's a season of self-development and discovery, self-discovery.
I was literally thinking the same
Yeah?
thing. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I've learned so much in the past year.
I was thinking the same
Yeah,
thing. I was
I've
like, say it. That's why I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah, I've learned so much in the past year about me and who I am and what I want and what I don't want. So much more in the past year than I have in the past 10 years. So I really, really love who I'm becoming and the person that I'm being and the person I look in the mirror every morning. And I just love the chapter that we're on. I love the fact that I'm doing a lot of work with him. We talk almost every day virtually. And I don't know, I just love the road that I'm on. And so I'm so okay with being by myself, being solo and writing this out. Whatever happens, happens. I'll embrace everything. The friendships I've built with this guy and so many other friends that I've had. Not many friends, a couple of people. But yeah, I'm just loving this experience.
I concur. I think that this has been the year where, I mean, so, a little bit of backstory, we say it all the time, but, this manifested last year because I helped him with his relationship. And so I wanted to do this for more people. So, he helped me kind of take that next step for us to do it together to really get this started. And I've been getting, immense amount of feedback from how many people I've helped. I had someone today ask me like, yo, I need your advice. Or someone last night, it's like, oh, tell me that I have this issue with this guy. Like, what do you think? Those are like, I love that because I've been able to do it off the record that now people are recognize it for me to continue helping. Like, that's my goal. So there's been so much development in what I've been able to do and to give to people. And for me to learn myself, that's been the most amazing thing. Plus, like, I've been able to strengthen my relationships. Like him and I, we used to be best friends, and I still consider him one of my best friends. But then, we kind of had a split. He had his own life, I had my own life, and obviously now we work together. So he's always literally whenever I'm here, he's in the background. Marvin and I were practically business partners, and then I have other partners that I do for my other ventures that I do. But it's allowed me to really develop as a human and as a man to be able to build those strong relationships and kind of think that way. So.
Yeah, and I think we are such a, 27, I think, and also once you get to our age in a couple of years, you'll also look back and realize how far you've come. And I think that's the greatest.
So that's the best part about it, yeah.
It's the greatest accomplishment.
What about you? What phase are you in?
I was going to ask you.
Similar, but like, I guess self-love. So
Good.
self-discovery,
Yeah.
self-love.
Yeah, that's
You gotta learn to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
Exactly.
absolutely. I think we got a pretty good amount out of you, Lexi, although you've been kind of reluctant at first, but I think we peeled
But
off.
everybody's the same way. You
Yeah.
start off and you're a little bit awkward because you're like, oh, I don't know, they have cameras here. What am I gonna say? But you've opened up enough, and I think that you're a ball of energy. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having me.
We appreciate
Huge pleasure. Thank you for responding to the DM for you to show up. I think it was great.
Absolutely.
Ballsy on your end. And so yeah, thank you for sharing. I know it's a little bit uncomfortable, but you
We
did great.
appreciate it.
All right. Any final thoughts? Any final words that you'd like to leave?
Well, I'd say thanks for my friends for helping me out. But any advice is, like I said, self-love first. That's one of the most important things, and don't let people try to manipulate you.
Like that? All right, good.
Smooth.
Signing off words. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well,
Time to break up?
it's time to break. You remembered. It's time to break
Time
up,
to break
unfortunately. So, Lexi, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's over, though. And all righty, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for another week the coffee breakup.
Thank you guys for tuning in, supporting us, and as always, we appreciate you.
Remember to follow us on
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Yes, well, yeah, he said that before. Yeah, so follow us on our social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. That's where you can get all of our daily content and everything that goes on. Most importantly, engage with us. Write to us, comment us whenever we post something. We like that engagement because then people read. Yeah, the discussion. People read the opinions of different people, and that's how we all learn. And if not, if you're too shy, you can DM us, and then we'll use that as a post so people can also see what goes on behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Other than that, you can listen to us on Spotify and iTunes. And
watch us on YouTube.
Watch us on YouTube if you want to see our reactions and see who it is that we're talking to. That's also great, right? So
I love that.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again.
Thank you guys. Be safe. Happy Friday.
Have a great day.